All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to talk about what Shakur Stevenson had to say, which was calling out a certain southpaw Ukrainian at 135 pounds, saying that he is torn between getting undisputed and making the big fights, and it looks like he is going to get pushed towards the big fights. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. We are back on Shakur Stevenson, the 130-pound WBC and WBO unified champion, who was recently on an interview with DAZN and called out Vasyl Lomachenko for a fight at 135 pounds. Or to be maybe a little bit more specific, he was asked if he would fight him, and he said, absolutely, I would fight Vasyl Lomachenko. He says, I'm down for the Vasyl Lomachenko fight. I don't duck no action. I don't care who it is. I'm going to keep the same energy. I'm down for that type of fight. And he says, truth be told, I'm torn between all the belts and the big fights. Well, let me tell you, sir, if you have to choose between a fight with Ogawa, the winner between Ogawa and whoever that is over there in the UK that he's fighting next, and then go pursue the winner of Gutierrez and whoever the guy that beat Chris Colbert, whatever his name is, do not waste your time going up there and get to 135 and get in the mix. There's no need to be wasting. Specifically, does not need to be waiting around, because you are the WBO super champion. Being the WBO super champion, Shakur Stevenson can go right up to 135 pounds and call out the winner of Devin Haney and George Kambosos and the fight, and he would immediately be the mandatory for that belt if he wanted to go that direction. So not only could he fight Vasyl Lomachenko, right? Now, Vasyl Lomachenko more than likely would be the mandatory for the winner between Kambosos and Devin Haney, because of the virtue of where he sits in the WBO. Last time I checked it, Vasyl Lomachenko was ranked #1 by the WBO, and earlier this year, Bob Arum had made the speculation, and when Bob Arum is talking about the WBO, ain't much speculation to that they would order the fight for Vasyl Lomachenko to fight those guys. But the biggest fight for him, in my opinion, the most anticipated fight and the fights that would do the most for Shakur Stevenson as far as his desire to be a superstar, his desire to be listed extremely highly on the pound for pound list, is a fight with the only two lightweights that are actually listed on the pound for pound list, those being Vasyl Lomachenko and Gervonta Tank Davis. Vasyl Lomachenko would be a fight that would be where I'm sure would be a very big fight. I think that it would probably be behind Shakur Stevenson and behind either one of those guys, Vasyl Lomachenko or Shakur Stevenson fighting Gervonta Davis. I think would be the biggest fight in that division. But as far as, Shakur staying and waiting down there at 130 just to become the undisputed champion there, that really, in that weight class, does not really make that much sense. And because people already know who the best fighter at 130 is. And I don't think that there's much question. In this particular case, for example, they're at 147 pounds. Becoming the undisputed champion at 147 pounds means a lot because of the quality of the fighters at 147 and the fact that in that particular division, the two best dudes are the ones that would be fighting or will be fighting, hopefully, for the undisputed title. If your undisputed title, for example, you take 135, the undisputed champion at 135 is not going to be considered the best fighter at 135. If Devin Haney beats George Kambosos, the story would be, and I think it's a fair story, would be that Devin Haney beat a guy that beat George Kambosos He beat George Kambosos, who beat Teofimo Lopez, but he was he beat a one-hit wonder who beat a one-hit wonder who beat Vasyl Lomachenko. I don't think that is going to label whoever the guy that wins that fight as everybody knowing that you're the best in that weight class, when so many people believe that the best guy in that weight division is Gervonta Tank Davis. So in this instance, if Shakur Stevenson goes up and fights Vasyl Lomachenko, that is a very, very big badge on him, especially depending on how he wins. Because yes, Vasyl Lomachenko did lose to Teofimo Lopez, but I thought that was a fairly close fight. And I think that if Vasyl Lomachenko would have got his rematch with Teofimo Lopez, I'm almost positive that he would have won. I just think that he was forced to. Either he did it in error, or he was overly cautious with Teofimo Lopez in the early rounds and let Teofimo Lopez, build up a lead. But when it came down the stretch, Vasyl Lomachenko was handling Teofimo Lopez, landing big shots on him, doing what he needed to do to clearly win the second half of the fight. But then it got even, that claim got bolstered. Better way to say that viewpoint got bolstered by the fact that Teofimo Lopez went off the rails and lost to George Kambosos. A fight between Vasyl Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson, I think, would put Shakur Stevenson very high on that pound-for-pound list for sure. Also, it would set up a lot of anticipation for a fight between him and Gervonta Davis, or a lot of anticipation for a fight between him and the winner of George Kambosos and Devin Haney. Now, my personal thoughts on Devin Haney at that weight class is I don't think if he beats George Kambosos, I'm pretty sure he's going to move up in weight. I'm not sure if he's going to want to tote around all four of those belts and the cost associated with all four of those belts. Now, if he beats him, also, he has to have a rematch with George Kambosos, and that would take up the majority of this year. I think after that, he would leave. Now, if George Kambosos wins, George Kambosos is more than likely going to fight Vasyl Lomachenko, because that's what he was saying he was going to do before. If Shakur gets into that weight classes and claims that mandatory as a WBO super champion before that happens, or if he is able to get in the ring with Vasyl Lomachenko and beat Vasyl Lomachenko, that's his undisputed championship right there. He can just be one fight and get it. And with Shakur there as the undisputed champion at 135 pounds, then we got a good match between him and Gervonta Davis. And that, in my opinion, may not quite be on par with Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Crawford, but it is in the same vein as Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. You would have the guys that many people would say would be the best guys in that division fighting. And that's no disrespect to Devin Haney, as a fighter. I just don't really think that, because of his punching power, lack of punching power, that, a lot of people would favor him to beat Gervonta Davis. But even if that's the case, and if he winds up getting it, then Shakur can fight him, and then Gervonta can get the winner. Any way it goes, man, it looks like good stuff to me. But anyway, that's my take on the situation. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.